Hello everybody, I'm Windy, and today we are breaking down a famous character from a famous series, Marinette Dupain-Cheng. She is infamously known for her disastrous writing. In this video, we cover obsession, selfishness, unrealistic decisions, and a poorly developed romance, and I'll suggest how it could have been done better. Marinette's crush on Adrian often crosses into obsession, which is portrayed as endearing rather than concerning. Her stalker-like actions are never properly explained until season 5, and even then, the justification feels far-fetched and illogical. By treating her obsession as charming, the writing sends the wrong message in a kids' show. She creates detailed charts of Adrian's schedule, climbs fences to spy on him, and even sneaks into his room to leave letters. Talk about creepy. Friends enable rather than challenge her behavior, which compounds the problem. It's not inherently bad to give a character morally gray or flawed behaviors, but in Marinette's case, she is supposed to be a hero and a role model. The lack of consequences makes her appear unrealistic and frustrating. Interestingly, in early concept art of Miraculous, when the show was thought out to be an anime, the character we know as Marinette was called Bridget, and Adrian was Felix. Bridget actually attempts a sincere confession to Felix. It's not reciprocated though, but she shows courage and is not portrayed as a creep. Felix, as Catmore, also has a crush on Ladybug and confesses, demonstrating mutual vulnerability and stakes. This early version is far more compelling than the current one-sided, obsessive Marinette. To fix the mother portrayal, the show could keep her flaws but introduce realistic consequences, letting her grow socially and morally. And Adrian could react with discomfort, and Marinette could reflect on her action and eventually learn to become a better person. And this preserves her humanity while keeping her relatable and educational for the audience. Marinette also frequently acts selfishly or unethically but faces no meaningful consequences, which makes her growth feel unearned. She publicly humiliates Layla and even steals Adrian's phone without facing repercussions. When she does quote-unquote learn her lessons, it often relies on Tiki, her Kwame, and she is more like a plot device rather than her own reflection. In contrast, Chloe Bourgeois, who the writer tries to make her very unlikable, is thought to be selfish and bratty, but her behavior is actually explained by her upbringing and experiences real consequences, making her arc more compelling. Marinette, on the other hand, behaves irrationally, faces no fallout, and ends up feeling unrealistic and frustrating to watch. Her lessons feel forced, and her growth poorly executed, plus her character lacks logic and realism. The solution would be to make her action carry organic consequences, socially, emotionally, and morally, so that her mistakes shape her character in a believable way. She would actively reflect, face pushback, and learn from her flaws rather than rely on magical plot devices. Marinette often makes illogical and self-centered choices. She uses her power to sabotage others for personal reasons. She acts possessively towards Adrian despite barely knowing him, and confronts Hawkmouth alone instead of working with Catmore. Her miraculous powers are overly strong. I would even say OP, and her heroic moments sometimes contradicts her normal girl relatability, making her more like a Mary Sue. I mean, her powers literally consist of creating anything, and her only limit is her imagination, so she could have created a device that could beat Hawkmouth forever. While flawed protagonists can be compelling, Marinette's flaws are treated as endearing rather than problematic, and the overlap between her self-centeredness and her qualities diminishes tension and realism. A relatable heroine should be both flawed and challenged, not consistently perfect despite poor decisions. Her choices should align with a realistic growth trajectory, showing teamwork, vulnerability, and struggles that ground her within the story while keeping her flaws meaningful. Writers should make her powers balanced and make her triumph feel earned, so it eliminates the Mary Sue vibe. Marinette's romance with Adrian is mostly one-sided, like we can see through the whole show, until the ship sets sail at the end of season 5. It feels forced and unrealistic, and her infatuation with Adrian is treated as love, with little development or progression in the relationship. Adrian eventually tolerates or even encourages her stalker-like behavior in season 5, with no structured evolution, no discovery, rejection, reflection, or organic emotional growth. This is very toxic for the younger audience. Although there is a little exploration on alternate romantic feelings, like Marinette's relationship with Lucas, the idea was instantly cut short after the end of season 3. The early anime concept featuring Bridget and Felix is destructive here. Bridget and Felix's relationship shows mutual vulnerability, attempts at confession, and clear stakes, and it creates a more compelling and grounded dynamic. A slow burn romance could work if there were realistic steps, consequences, and potential alternate pairing for both Adrien and Marinette. And this support could explore the differences between crushes, love, and infatuation, making the story richer and more relatable for viewers. In short, Marinette Dupain-Cheng has a creepy obsession, selfishness, and illogical decision, and a poorly executed romance. Her flaws overlap her qualities, she faces no consequences, and her character often feels like a Mary Sue. But given her actual consequences, thoughtful growth, and realistic relationships, she could become a truly compelling heroine and role model. In other words, a flawed, human, and relatable character. If you found this breakdown interesting, hit the like button, subscribe, and comment below if you think Marinette flaws are forgivable or irredeemable. Anyway, so, goodbye!